So, located at Disney's California Adventure is a Monsters Inc. attraction, and this ride was a replacement for the previous attraction that houses that space known as Superstar Limo. And this previous attraction was hated so much that it closed in just around a year, and then it was eventually replaced by this ride just a little while later. And to this day, the Monsters Inc. attraction still lives in that spot. So today, I want to ask the question of if Monsters Inc. could be the next ride to go at Disney's California Adventure. So let's get right into today's video. So hopefully you all know about the history of Superstar Limbo. I don't really want to go over it too much in this video since it would take a long time to talk about all the things that happened in its history, but let me give you a brief explanation. So Superstar Limo was one of the opening day attractions at the park, and on opening day, people could tell just how low of a budget this ride had. Basically, all the stuff on this ride just doesn't really seem like Disney quality. Lots of the animatronics were limited motion, and lots of the sets on this ride just seemed like they were cardboard cutouts. And also, at many points during this ride, it just seemed kind of cringy and wasn't really the greatest experience out there. But the original version of this attraction that they were gonna build may have been received better among guests than the one that they decided to build. But sadly, the original version of this ride was just completely redone due to some incidents that had happened. And with this ride having very low ridership, they decided just to close it about a year later. And then fast forward a little while after this ride closed, and Monsters Inc. replaced it. And then when Monsters Inc. opened, it was received way better among guests, and now to this day, it is still operating there. So even though lots of people do like this ride, it's not the best ride that it could have been. So this Monsters Inc. remake of this ride had a very much smaller budget than lots of other Disney attractions out there, making it so lots of the stuff on the ride today is just a reused version of stuff from the previous ride, such as the ride's facade, the animatronics, the queue, the ride vehicles, and much, much more. Which, even though lots of guests say it's a good ride, I just feel like it could have had much, much more if they had just redone everything instead of reusing lots of the same stuff. But now we still haven't really answered the question of if this ride could be the next one to go. Now, it seems like it's one that's liked by a lot of guests, but is this a good spot for a brand new Disney attraction in the park? So after looking back at some of my personal experiences at California Adventure and doing some research, I found out some stuff that may suggest that Monsters Inc. isn't as popular as a ride as lots of the other ones in the park. So if we just look at how many riders this ride gets on a regular day, from personal experience and look at some stuff, it seems like this ride a lot of the time has shorter waits than lots of the other major attractions at the park. And also, I'm pretty sure lots of people could agree with this, but out of all the major rides at the park, this one is still a good one, but I don't think as many people would rank it as high on their list as some of the other good attractions in the park. So although this is an attraction that people still do enjoy, I still feel like it could be a good spot for a brand new Disney attraction. So as you probably know, at Disney's California Adventure, they have basically no room to expand the park. So if they were looking to add some sort of new attraction, they would have to redo or take out a previous attraction and replace it with a new one. And what seems like the best spot to put a brand new attraction? Well, if we look at where Monsters Inc. is, this is probably one of the most likely spots where we would see a new attraction in the future. So the area in which this ride sits is the Hollywood section of the park, and this section has remained one of the most untouched areas in the park, meaning that it hasn't really had the Disney retheme yet. Some of the attractions and stores have changed, but it still kind of has that Hollywood feel. And with it losing the Hollywood Tower of Terror a few years back, I feel like this area could definitely use a retheme from the Hollywood theme to something new, and with that, I feel like the Monsters Inc. ride would be a good one to close and give it some sort of new theme and maybe even some sort of new attraction. So although it would be sad to see this ride leave, I just feel like it's a good spot for Disney to add new attraction, and the area around it could definitely use some sort of retheme. So that is it for today's video, everyone. Hopefully you did enjoy. So this is just speculation, so don't expect this ride to close. This is just my thoughts on if I ever think it will really close or anything, which I feel like it could be a possibility. And it's definitely a spot where I would like to see a new ride, but we'll have to wait and see what will actually happen. But I will see y'all next time. Make sure to like and subscribe, and goodbye.